Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Akansha Sharma, along with my teammates, Pratik, Michelle, Upasna, and Akansha Kala. I'm here to present to you from the Symptom Institute of Management Studies, Research and Entrepreneurship, Education, our idea, rather our experience, Eco-Minders. When we first sat down on a late Saturday afternoon, thinking, what are we going to put in as an entry for this competition? We were really thinking and searching and searching. We wanted an idea which was very simple, that all 650,000 students would implement. So we thought, and then finally our eyes fell upon a notebook. And we started thinking that even though that notebook was almost completely filled, there was a certain part of that notebook which was empty. And we were thinking, what happens to these unused pages? What does an average Indian student do with them? And then we thought, with this question, we go and ask other students on what they do with their unused pages. तो हमें जानना था कि आप अपनी खाली नोटबुक के साथ क्या करते हैं? And this is what we found out.
ड्राफ्ट के लिए यूज करता हूँ पेज पर से मेरा दोनों में मेरा पेज लगाता है ड्राफ्ट की पूरी गलती नहीं जा सकती उसके ऊपर लिखा है मैं तो सेकेंड पर आई तो ना सब्जेक्ट अनेक जगह करते हैं आई तो जिस तरह से क्रिकेट खेलते हैं एक टैकल खेलते हैं
So now what? We had a lot of disturbing set of responses and we were thinking, what do we do with them? And we found out that a lot of people were just throwing these pages away. Could we capitalize these pages and channelize them in such a manner that we could compile them together to make our own new notebooks? That is what Eco-Minders does. Eco-Minders involves binding together unused pages of used notebooks to make new notebooks altogether. So that is what we do. Now, when we actually thought that how feasible is this idea, can we actually implement it at a micro level? Let's start from there. Can we take it to a class? So we thought, what is a better place to start than our own college? We went to our class of 120 students and we asked them to bring in any unused pages that they might be having at the back of their notebooks to the college the next day. Now, we collected around 800 pages altogether and then we took them to the binder shop to get them bound. Now, after we got them bound, we actually found out that the cost came down to something around for 4 notebooks. We got of 200 pages, it just costed ₹10. That means with the concept of economies of scale coming into the existence and with a much more bulky order with 650,000 students, we could actually take the cost down lower to ₹5 per book or even lesser. So when we actually got done with the trial run, this is what we got, an Eco-Minder notebook, completely filled, completely complete with all the quality, the viability aspect, and we were thinking, let's take this back to our classroom, show it to the students that how their small contribution can impact in such a big way. We'll compile the whole notebook out of it. So we were thinking and thinking and thinking and we took them back. And the response, once the students was presented with all these notebooks, was phenomenal. People were actually awestruck that such a small contribution could make such a big impact. Such a small thing like their unused pages that they were anyways giving off to the Radriwala making paper airplanes could actually be channelized in such a manner. So this was feasible. Now how do we implement it? My friend Michelle will tell you how.
They say a new idea is half job done. However, implementation is the key. What we decided was take 20 pages from each notebook. That would basically come out to almost 65,000 books, which would basically be 1 to 30,000 pages, 30 lakh pages. This could be basically bound to 65,000 books, which will ultimately saved 1,560 trees. That's a mini forest, my friends. Now, our implementation strategy. The eco-minded team basically decided on a 3C strategy: collect, collate, and circulate. These 3Cs basically form the building blocks of our idea. In collect, what do? All we have to do is ask students to basically give their unused pages in their used notebooks, and they would be collected by conservation champions. Now, who are the conservation champions? They are a student in each class of every institute. These conservation champions would encourage students not just to participate, but to contribute substantially for the success of this phase. These conservation champions would then report to a society of conservation champions. This society would basically overlook the conservation champions and also collect the pages in a centralized location in every institute. Now the next phase, we have collate. What do we do in collate? Once all the pages are found and collected together, we basically tie up with the binder institute or establishment and get these pages bound into 200 pages notebooks. Once the pages are bound and the books are formed, we know that everything comes with a price tag these days, and this activity will also entail a cost. If we do the math for 6,00,000 students, it comes to just 50 paise per student in the University of Mumbai. That's alone. And so if we see, if there might also be other costs for transportation of the binded books to the institute, that will be basically borne by tie-up corporates, educational institutes, who basically will be more than happy to tie up with such an initiative. Another important point we need to note here is on how we verify this phase. Therefore, bills from the binding establishment would be required to be maintained, so we know how many books are bound by each institute. In the next phase, the final phase of our implementation strategy is circulate. In circulate, what we do, all the books that are bound will then be circulated to underprivileged children of rural and urban of our city. In circulate, what happens is that we're not just saving our environment, saving our trees, but we're also promoting education to the lower sections of our society. Now, circulation could be done by distribution area network, by signing up with NGOs, or probably government-run schools in nearby to your institute, which would be very feasible. And this distribution would be done by the conservation champions of each institute. Over here, the verification could be done by maintaining official letters from these tie-up organizations to know that the delivery has been made to that organization or institute. So basically, the 3Cs would allow institutes to